Hi, I'm Vanessa Fromm from Fabric Confetti, and today we are going to work on the corner for the Pocket Full of Posies quilt. Okay. Yesterday we worked on, or the last two videos, we worked on the part B and part C, and on those I showed you how to cut the applique out with a scan and cut, or you can use the peel and stick pieces. And I showed you how I put a backing, which is I use the Filmoplast, or you could use sticky back, on the back to give it some structure, and then you hoop just tearaway stabilizer. And again, I use exquisite tearaway stabilizer. So we did this all in advance because you didn't really want to watch me spend the hour and a half I spent getting this all ready. So I've already cut out all my applique, and I keep it in these little, I'm ready to go. And I've put out the grid on this. Okay, so we've got that all ready to go. And we are going to do, this is going to be 8 hoopings. So there's a right-hand side, and there's a left-hand side. So we're going to start off with the right-hand side. And we are going to, that'll be 4, it'll be 2 for the basket and 2 for down on the side. And then there'll be 2 for this one. So we're going to start out with hooping 1 on the right hand side. Okay, I brought my design up on my machine, and so the first thing I will do is put my hoop in, and let's see, the first color that we'll stitch out is going to be a is a stem. So I'm going to thread my machine with that color. Okay. And here we go. There we go. Okay, I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to look at my corner the correct way. Okay? And we've decided to piece the corner to join the 2 sides, because some of the leaves kind of come pretty close to the seam, and that way we won't run into any problems. Now I'm looking at my picture right now on my machine, and it is the tulip, and the tulip will be up here. So I kind of draw myself a little picture, because when I hoop this, I want it to be hooped just like what I need. And I know that if I look at my layout, I know that the tulip is going to be in this one, and this one. So those are the blocks I'm going to need to make sure they line up. There we go. I'm just making sure. Yep, those 3. All right, so here's my little mat. And what I will do, I'm going to just run off here for 2 seconds and show you what I'm talking about. So there's this, and there 1, 2, 3. Okay, so those are the 3 that I'm looking. This one's empty. 1, 2, 3. Those are the ones I need to line it up with. You can't do that enough. You cannot measure enough. Make sure that you are doing the correct placement. Okay, so here's my box that I stitched out. I'm going to put a pin in there. Upper left-hand corner. Upper right-hand corner. I look underneath and I make sure that that's fine. Okay. Now I'll do the bottom right and the bottom left. And I know you just have to be a little careful. You know, you've drawn this on. It's not printed. I'm actually going to leave it like that. Those three go. And then maybe I'll make one, because I can't see my line through the, yep, that's perfect. I can't see my line through the dark blue. All right, that's fine. I use 505 to hold my fabric down. And again, this is a big piece, so the thing you're really going to have to make sure is that you don't have any of your rest of your corner folding under when you're stitching. So do not rush this, take your time. Okay, there we go. Now I can remove my pins. Okay, everything's smooth. Now we'll go put the hoop back onto the machine. Now, you can roll these up. You can use a couple clips so that you don't if you want to. I'm going to just stick with it. I'm not going to leave the room when I do this. All right. And this is, yep, that's going to go down there. All right, here we go. Oh, I didn't push the rubber nozzle down. While that's stitching out, I'm removing the fusible from the back of all my pieces. Okay, I'm going to leave this color in, and we're going to do the placement stitches for the middle of the tulip and one of the leaves. Okay, I got caught on something. All right, we're going to remove the hoop, and we're going to go iron those pieces down. Be very careful. You don't want your hoop to pop out. That's why it's really nice to have something very close to your machine so that you can not have to travel very far. Oh great, I just knocked all my pieces onto the floor. That's okay. My little iron. Oh, where? Pick them up off the floor. Oh, here's the white leaf. Again, like puzzle pieces, these have to fit right in. They can't kind of fit. All right, those look good. Put my hoop back in. Okay, so let's see what color. I'm going to do the leaves. So like yesterday, I do all the leaves. I do the veins and the leaves out of the same color. But I put both of them in there so that you can do them 2 colors if you would like. There we go. Press go again. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the middle of the tulip, or the daffodil, sorry, tulipy shape. I'm going to use a gold, and I'm going to use, again, you can use 2 different threads. There'll be a little bit of work on the inside of the flower, and then there'll be the satin stitch around. So I'm going to do them both with the gold. I've actually changed my mind. I'm going to use yellow, because I'm going to be using yellow for the centers of the flowers, so it'll pull the yellow all the way through. All these decisions. All right, I'm going to change. This is really light. It's called Yellow Whisper, and it is a whisper. So I'm going to use another color when I stitch out the placement line for the petals. All right, let's take this out and place that piece. You know, sometimes I do it right here, and I will show you. Well, I'll have to go get it. Sometimes I'm so afraid of melting my machine, so sometimes I put a piece of cardboard right underneath here, and I can iron right by my machine. I'll have to go get that, and I can do that next time. But otherwise, and it's a little bit helpful, because then you don't have to move your hoop each time. So I will move my hoop this time, and I'll go look for that cardboard. All right. What have I done with those pieces? There we go. Again, we just tack it down, because I don't want to melt the thread. Okay. While this stitches out, I will go find that cardboard so I can show you how I do it the next time. Gotta make sure all the pieces are not flipped underneath. The back is up, the sides are over, we're good to go. My hoop is in. Yep. Okay, I'm going to use this thread to stitch out the other. So let me see. And then I'll show you how I use a piece of cardboard as my ironing surface. Okay, I take out my hoop. I don't remove it all the way, and I slide my cardboard underneath there. So take my pieces. I've taken all the fusible off the back. So see my cardboard, I can show you a little bit. My cardboard is underneath here, okay? And I just pulled my hoop out a little bit. And then I can take my iron. Again, I do this because I was afraid I don't want to melt my machine. So I tack it down, and just like before, there you go. It's ready to go. And I pull out the cardboard, put it to the side, push my hoop back in and lock it, and now change the color. A little bit darker pink. Okay. This color is called rhododendron. And sometimes you just cannot put all the pieces down of applique at the same time because they just layer. And then some of these flowers, that's exactly what happens. All right, our last color. All right, we have finished hooping 1. All right, we're now ready for hooping 2. And I'll show you exactly what that's going to look like. So this is hooping 2. So these were the 3 boxes that you need to line up hooping 1. There's an overlap here, and then these will be the 3 boxes for lining up hooping 2. Okay? So if I'm looking at my design, I'm going to put an X and these 3. Correct? Correct. All right. I'll move this to the side. I'm going to put my hoop in, my water. And let's see, what's the first color that's going to be stitching out? It's going to be a stem, so I'm going to put that color in. It's also a little bit darker than that mint. Okay. Now these hoopings are pretty straightforward. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be, these are on the inside of the handle. So it's very easy to line this up because I didn't have to rotate it in the hoop at all. Okay, so these are pretty straightforward. Hold that down, maybe it's a little bit on the top so it doesn't do that tail sway. There we go. That's all finished. I'll pull my pins out. Okay, load this into my machine. And I'm going to probably use that cardboard this time to iron on most of my appliqué. We're going to try it anyway. Okay, make sure all my pieces are out of the way, not folded underneath. We are ready to go. You can hear all my little sound effects in the background. We have a woodpecker. We've got 2 dogs barking. It's a happy household. We're animal friendly. This is why I tend to not go anywhere when I do embroidery, especially when I'm put so much work into something like piecing. It's better to babysit it. Okay. I'm going to just use this thread. We're going to stitch out the placement line for the leaves. See how close that got to the seam? This is why we pieced it together. I'm so glad we did that. Okay. I'm going to just pull this out. I'm going to iron at here with my piece of cardboard. Here's my cardboard. I'm going to shove it underneath the hoop. Okay. Pull it out a little bit. Get my iron. Let's see. Put my pieces up here because I only have 2 hands. Okay. Put these in position. go. Piece 1. I could iron it really well down because I don't have embroidery around it. These I'm going to have to tack down and then put my cloth on because I don't want to burn the thread. And this one I can iron down because it's not near anything either. All right, let me get my cloth. Put this down. There we go. Okay, I've got my pieces in place. And all I have to do is slide it back in. I do have to change my thread color. I'm going to do the veins and the leaves in the same green. All right, now we're going to go back and around, making sure that nothing is folded under. See, this again is, you're not going to have, I do 20% on the outside, 80% on the inside of the satin stitch, so it's really not going to go much further than the actual applique piece. I still think it's wisest to sew the whole corner together before you do this. All right, next thing we're going to do is there's going to be a pink and yellow flower right in here. It's a small flower. We're going to stitch out the first layer of that. Or the placement line, certainly, for that. Okay, I'm going to slide this out. Use my cardboard. I will actually try to remember to remove my cardboard next time too. Okay, here we go. Here's the pieces. So I believe, I think I've got, oh, we'll see. We'll see which pieces I have first. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. And that looks pretty good. So I will put those down first. Now I'm getting a lot of embroidery around the area, so I'm going to just tack these down and then put my cloth down. Okay. Now I'm going to remove my cardboard. And push that in. The first color is going to be, I'm going to go to that kind of goldy color. Again, just one last check, make sure nothing's folded under. You never know. Oops, and I just unthreaded it. There we go. And let's go that. Okay, placement line for the other layer. Okay. Slide my cardboard under, get my pieces out. I use these little plastic things all the time. Of course, I'm missing one piece. It's probably on the floor. Nope, I found it. Okay. There we go. That looks good. I think this is this one. That looks good. And that looks good. Now these I'm really going to tack because there's embroidery everywhere. So, tack, 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 tack. And then get my cloth. Perfect. Remove my cardboard. Push that in. Now, big choice. Darker pink or lighter pink? The darker pink, I think I'm going to go for the darker pink. Ah, I see what I did. I'm going to do all the centers at the same time. Okay, so now we're going to do the placement line for the second flower. I'm going to just keep the pink in there. Okay, cut that. Now we had used the lighter blue for the back flowers. That's the wrong thing. Where did it go? So let me pull this out. And the way I remember these is this really funny, that's number 4. Okay, so it's 2, 4, and 6. That little funny thing, I've labeled the drawings, what goes where. So that goes there, and then we just have to kind of look and see which fit better for here. That looks pretty darn good, but let me see the other piece. I think it looks pretty darn good. Okay, so let me get my cardboard underneath there. Okay, my iron, and we're going to tack that down, and tack that one down. This second hooping on both the left and right hand side is just the majority of the embroidery. Everything else is like 2 or 3 pieces. Okay, let me put my cloth on here. I love these little steam. This is a Dritz, but they're like the steam fast irons. Okay, put this back over here. Remove my cardboard. Push that back in. And then the color I used with the other hoopings was kind of a light blue. So let's go back to that light blue. Okay, here we go. Okay, layer 2. Okay. Cardboard pieces. Three pieces. All right, let's do the best we can. They should all be relatively the same, but they're not completely the same. Wow, I'm good. These all fit. Okay. It'll take you about 2 more seconds to make sure that they're the pieces you want in the right places. So do try it. They all have a place. Okay, let's iron those down. That looks good. Remove the cardboard. Oops, I see this is not completely ironed down. Doing exactly what I said I didn't want to do. Iron on my machine. You should see my cutting mat because I've ironed on it, so I don't want to have the same thing happen to my machine. Okay. Okie doke. And we're going to use a little bit darker blue. Okay, let's take that out. Kind of a purpley blue. This is called Haze. Other than the fact that I love the shine from Glide Thread, I love the names. And it's so easy to say, oh, I think I'll use Limerick. Oh, I think I'll use Haze. As opposed to, oh, I think I'll use 507322. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, now the flower centers. Okay. Iron those down. My last 2 pieces. Okay. So I'm just tacking this one down. Okay. And this one. Let me make that fit a little bit better. Tweezers. There we go. This on. This one on. Okay, that looks good. Okay, I'm going to use the same threads for both. So first yellow and then kind of a green. There's a little bit of lattice work on the inside, so that's what we'll do in yellow. And then we'll go around each center and we'll use the green. That's a better sound. That's a better sound. Now I'm going to go back and do the green on the outside. Why green? Because I use green on the corners, on the, not corners, but on the inner pieces. I've used about 10 colors total on this, and I would kind of come up with your own color palette. And if you're going to use glide or anything, I would get, again, the large cones as opposed to just the small spools. That way you have enough to do the whole quilt. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do are the little dots. One more color for that. I think you can see I have that thread holder. That helps. If you line up your colors, you can just keep pulling them when you need them. All right, we are finished with hooping 2. I'll hold that up for you to see. Okay, so we have finished hooping 2. Okay, we're back. I want to show you something, and then I'll show you. I finished the whole corner. I finished all the embroidery for the corner, or the basket, should I say. All right, so we've got the basket embroidery. So again, I would suggest you put the 2 pieces together so you have the full corner before you do your embroidery, because these leaves are very close and you don't want them to get cut off in the seam allowance. That being said, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this hooping 3 and 4. So what I did is I did 1 2 1 2, and now I can do 3 4 3 4. Now these hoopings are exactly like the vine group B, and when you have the full quilt put together, this, you can see this goes like this, all right, and this goes like this. Now the dots and the little leaves and everything are a little bit different on each side, but that's basically how it goes, the layout. And there will be something here, there will be a piece of fabric in here, or a border or sashing or whatever, and this will just need to continue. That's why it'll be important that you use the grid that we have the AGL lines on, and start your grid from those lines. Okay, that'll be all spelled out in the instructions. So for right now, we are going to do one of these sides. As you'll see, there are 4, but we're going to just do one right now. Hooping 1, or hooping 3 and hooping 4, those 3 boxes, then these 3 boxes. And we're going to start, the hoop is like this, so the point is going to be to the top of the hoop. Again, I told you to orient yourself. the top of the hoop, and then the flower will be at the top of the hoop for the second hooping. Okay, let me show you what I did between the last video and this one. Ta-da! We've got the whole basket finished. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, I want to show you one more thing. And I don't know, I'll tell you what I've done on other patterns. You can see that you can see through a little bit of the dark handle. Now maybe that doesn't bother you at all, which is absolutely fine. However, if it does, what you can do is you can double that fabric. And I would suggest just laying down 2 pieces of the same, cut the thing twice on those 2, and that should cover it a little bit more. And I only do that, as you see, you won't even see it on the blue. But if you ever can see through a fabric, I just say cut it twice and iron down 2 pieces. So in this case, you'd have those 3 pieces. Okay? All right. Let's pull up hooping 3 and line it up, and we'll get going. Okay, so this is going to be the first hooping of that bottom V-vine in the corner. And so we're going to first stitch out the basting box. Okay, and like I've done before, let me pull that through. I'm looking at my drawing on my machine. So I'm going to have these 3 dots up here, and the point is here, and this little thing is here. So when I go line it up, I want to make sure that I've got the right area. Okay. So this is what we're hooping. And I can do this. I can count in from the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it starts on the 6th. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it will be these 3. Yep, it's those 3. So those are the 3 boxes that I'm going to be lining up. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. This is going to be the bottom right. Move this a little bit. This will be the top right. Bottom right, top right. And we'll do bottom left. Now I haven't pulled off any of the stabilizer on the back, so it's a little crunchy. I usually wait till the end. Okay, there we go. That looks good. I'm going to lift this up and spray my 505. Oops. That's what happens when you're working with a big piece. So put that down, put that pin down, put that pin down. This is why working in pieces of a quilt is so much easier than working with the whole quilt. Okay, I'm having nothing but problem. I need my whole table to be doing this. Okay. I'm trying to do it on the side here, and it's not ideal. Okay. There we go. There we go. Throw a little 505 in there. There we go. All right. Okay, so work on a bigger table if you have the option. Okay, there we go. We're ready to go. I can pull out my pins. And this is also why I will, it's easier to use the piece of cardboard to iron your pieces on. All right, it's all set. Push this in, take all this fabric, and the good thing is all the fabric's to the left and it's not all crammed up in the middle. Okay. There we go. All right, I have the right color in there. We've got those 3 boxes all ready to go. This should be at the bottom of this, or the middle of this box, so that's going to be fine. Just making sure everything is good, end to end. And that, looking at my thing, it goes very close over there. All right, I'm ready to go. Embroidery is a little bit like measure twice, cut once. This is figure it out so you don't have to rip it out. Oh, I like that one. While it's stitching out, you can remove all the fusible from the back of your pieces. That's what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to do the placement stitches for the stem and the leaves. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pull it out, but I'm not going to take it out. I'm going to put that cardboard underneath. Alright, and I'll iron my pieces down. That's the wrong piece. Here's the right piece. Like I said, on the first videos, do the tip first, because, and then kind of stretch it downwards. Okay, then you can pull it, and it does have to pull a little bit to make it fit. I'm not quite sure why that is. There we go. I'm going to do the bottom, and then I can move this over a little bit. Okay. Good, I don't want to burn the stitch that I already have there. All right, now the leaves. So here's one leaf, a leaf. I'm going to look for the second leaf, a little pile of pieces. There you go. Is this the second leaf? No. There must be 4 leaves. It's a big leaf. Let me dump them out over here. There we go. Here's my second leaf. Alright. So you can see I've ironed all the pieces down. I will remove my cardboard. And I'll get my hoop back in there. Now I've got my machine pushed back and it kind of gives me a little bit of room here. You might think about that too. Okay, here we go. Okay. Put the green in. Okay, we do the dots. Okay, we've finished that hooping. Okay, we've just finished right 3, and now we're going to do the last one will be right 4. Okay, so that's going to go right in here, and that has the flower on it. So let me put this here, and let me do my basting box. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but I had, in order to get this in this whole hooping into the hoop, I had to rotate the design. So you put it like this so that it's straight up and down. It helps a little bit. So when you're lining this up, you can be lining up the thing. Okay, if you look at your layout, it's going to be, there's going to be blank box, then 1, 2, 3. So here's the center, 1, 2, so it's going to start here. So it's going to be this box, this box, and this box. Okay. Again, try a larger table. Okay, we're going to put this down here. Top left corner. Top left corner. Okay. Top right corner. Top right corner. Bottom right corner. Overlook bottom right corner. Okay. So I'm going to try to not tip this up. Will that go? It's a little pleated up here, but there we go. I can pull it out. All right, that hooping is ready to go. Take my pins out. Move everything. Delicately put my hoop in my machine. Okie doke. So now that we have this, the first thing it's going to stitch out are those embroidery only. I just don't want to knock all my pieces off. The embroidery only stems. So I'm going to cut my thread and put the correct color in. Okay. Okay, let's iron those down. Okay, I've got my pieces here. Okay, let's try the pointy end first. My iron is here. Oh, this is going to be fine. This is going to work. Okay, and the two pieces. I'm going to put that cloth on. I just want to make sure that this is down tight. There we go. Takes 2 more seconds. Okay, remove the cardboard. I can keep that same color in because that's the color for the stems. All right, let's go. Okay, the leaves. Okay, let's do the stitch out or the placement stitch for the first part of the leaves. Okay, I'll iron those down. Lift up my hoop. These are the light blue ones. Again, I repeat, the really curvy one is the 4. It's always in a different location. So that's the first one. And then we've got the other 2, which are very similar. There you go. And there you go. Okay. You iron those down. Okay. Cloth on. We'll get in there. Take the cardboard out. Change my thread the light blue. Let's go. Although I'm using a sewing machine or embroidery machine that will do just about anything because it's got cameras and all, I don't design for that. I design so that people with any kind of embroidery machine can do it. That's why the grid system. And I also, but you do need an 8x12 hoop. As you see, there's several hoopings, and to divide it into even more hoopings is just too difficult. Especially with some of the longer stems, it just would not work. Okay, second layer of petals. The placement lines. Okay, let's pull this out. This in. Time this down. Change the thread. Okay. One that's a little bit more curvy than others. That's that one. And these two. You know, you can also do this in advance. You can put it right on those peel and stick sheets, and you can mark the back which colors or which numbers they are. But this is just as easy. Okay. So once you do the first one, you kind of know where everything's going to go. And put in the darker blue. Okay, let's circle for the middle. Pull this out. I can just get that down. Put my cloth on. Just don't want to. So close to the end, I don't want to mess up. Okay. Alrighty. Put that back in. A little yellow, a little green, a little mint, and we are finished. a little yellow, a little green. Now we got a couple of dots. Okay, put the mint in. We are finished. Okay, so I'll hold it up and show you what it looks like. Alright. And there we go. Complete with hoop, but I mean, there you go. And then the other side would take 2 hoopings as well. Okay?